Yo, 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 yo. It is another edition of the Weekend Rhyme. It is your boy Prime, also known as RKY, and that is Leroy Green. Tonight we got a special show for you. We're going to talk about Ka. We're going to remember that brother's legacy. We're going to talk about the discographies between T.I and Lil Wayne. You know, who had the better discography, right? 38 Spesh and Benny the Butcher have a new album out, and lots more, man. Lots more to cook up, man. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. As long as hip hop is thriving or existing, I don't know if I want to use thriving just yet, but I'm talking about people tonight who have thrived. So, but I'm doing great though, man. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Let's start off with let's start off with Ka, because Ka unfortunately transitioned
Yeah.
last week, and I know you were really big into his music. So talk about the legacy of Ka, what his music meant,
Okay.
and let's go from there.
Yeah. So no problem. And I appreciate all the outpouring of love and respect that people are showing Kai at this present time. I'm looking on the internet and listening to interviews and stuff like that, and I'm seeing people showing the love, and that's awesome, man. I appreciate that because a lot of times I try to show the artist love while they're here, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, and they do that as well. So I just want to acknowledge that at first. But Kai, you know what I mean? His passing, you know what I mean? It struck me in a profound way. And as people in general, but artists or whatever you do, because all of us are artists in some capacity. If so you never know when we're on borrowed time. You never know. You know what I mean? So you want to get the most out of this life as you can. And tonight I'm leaning on artistic integrity. And this is a lot of times I use J as the model for that. People don't like that because they don't agree with that. So I'll use Ka. You know what I mean? I'll use Ka for however long time being that is for artistic integrity. This is somebody who is side note, behind me I got Scarface and Sosa because the Benny and 38 Spesh project. So that's why I got them behind me. But we'll get into that. But artistic integrity, Ka is somebody who he's recording music not just because he wants people to hear it and get the accolades from people hearing it, but he's recording music because he has to, because it's woven into the fabric of who he is as a person. You know what I'm saying? He's not just an artist. Like let me show you I can rap. No, being an artist is woven into who he is as a person. So you can hear that in his music that hold on, like he's not trying to sell me anything, you know what I mean, per se, through the music, the product. He's expressing his real underlying feelings, his life, his emotions, and there's a lot of artistic integrity that was there. So also the motifs of his project. So you have like stuff like the Knight's Gambit, Honor Killed the Samurai, Orpheus and the Sirens, Martyr's Reward, Languish, Arts, Woeful Studies. All of these have different motifs. So you have the chess. The Knight's Gambit was about chess. Honor of the Samurai was obviously about the samurai code. Um, Orpheus and the Sirens deal with Greek mythology. The language arts is the school system. Martyr's Reward is the political ramifications. The Thief Next to Jesus that has the spiritual undertones. So in each of these different walks of life, he's able to express himself, be- referencing his experiences in life through each one of these different motifs. And I thought that was very unique about Kai, very unique in his delivery and his art. So, I just want to show respect for that as well. Some of my favorite songs: "Conflicted," "The Cold and Lonely," "Outside Waiting," uh, "Mastermind," "Yakuza Metal" with Rock Marcy, "Respect Due," "Iron Age," "Collage," "Decision," "Vessel," "Islam," "I'm Ready," "Bearing the Likeness," "30 Pieces of Silver," "For the Record." These were a lot of my favorite records. So if you haven't heard those, you could play those back. But just a phenomenal lyricist, great artist. And I love the integrity he stood on. He was also a firefighter. I've talked about the need for people that are working class to pick up the mics again. and let me hear what you can do behind the music, because I don't down the people that work for a living. You know, and I'm not saying any of us do here, but what I'm saying is that's a rare case in the music. We always hear a different type of expression. So people that work, you know, I mean, whether you're a firefighter, you could be a teacher, you could be in the medical industry, you could be an engineer, you could be a forklift driver, you could be a painter, a construction worker, it doesn't matter. But let me hear your perspective and rapping. You know, you're a truck driver, whatever you are. I'm interested in hearing that in the future of hip hop. So I appreciate Kai for all his contributions, not to mention his eye for videos. You know, they have a very minimalistic, but you know, the drumless beats. He was on that very early, just like Rock Marciano. So it's a lot this man was able to contribute in a short amount of a period of time. So I'm just super happy to see everybody showing him love in the last week. Yeah, man, for sure. You know, rest in peace, Kyle, man. Great artist, phenomenal. Pen game, immaculate. You know what I mean? Supreme lyricist. You know, so you
No
know,
doubt, no doubt, man. Shout out to Kai, man. Shout out to his family. I know he left a legacy in this music game. He left his imprint,
yeah.
and you know he may not get, you know, maybe it's not be as celebrated as other MCs, but the fact that he, you know, left a mark in Brooklyn, New York, underground hip hop scene, hip hop in general, just speaks um, volumes about the kind of artist he was, man. So a lot of people are not hip on Kai like that, right? But I'm glad, Leroy, you were able to educate them on his music, and yeah, man. So shout out to him and his family, man.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, run it back. Go back and listen to those albums. You know what I mean? I know people got a lot going on, but run them albums back, man. The Knight's Gambit, Grief Pedigree, Descendants of Cain. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about Hustling today only because we're going to talk about Benny and 38 Spesh. So obviously, I'm going to talk about Hustling. Big Meech just came home. I see different opinions about that situation. So, but the underpinning of what I'm going to talk about is the artistic integrity. When we talk about the hustling, are we telling the story accurately as to what we're saying in music, as to what really transpires in the street? You know, and I think Ka was extremely accurate with his interpretation. Even though this is a working class MC, he wasn't a hustler. But the way he told that story, you know it was coming from a place of, let me not wrap it in a way that makes you want to say, "Oh, I want to go be a hustler." Because after I tell you how it really goes down, you're probably gonna say, "Nah, I don't want that." You know, I don't want to be a part of that because the real life accuracy of how you tell that should steer the younger generation away, but instead it attracts. So what are we saying in the music that is attracting that? And also, you know, as far as that, what is the next level? What is the next level of kind of the hustler rap? So, you know, just some things I'm gonna talk about. You know what I mean? Aside from T.I and Wayne and Snoop and Dre, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Shout out to Poets and Rhymers. I don't. I think we might need to figure out, you know, if we're gonna do Saturdays or Sundays. I know we got a light audience in here tonight.
Okay.
If you don't have your notifications, put that notification icon, that bell notification icon to get alerted to when we pop it on. So, and we'll do a better job of communicating the schedule going forward. But
No
anyway,
doubt.
hit like, subscribe. Everybody come in the room. I would be remiss to say, and Mike and Servano will probably talk about it tomorrow. But shout out to the Tribe Called Quest. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over the weekend. Dave Chappelle, they gave the honors to induct them. But round of applause to the Tribe Called Quest,
Round
man.
of applause,
Q-Tip,
Tribe Called Quest. You know,
Fife, the rest of the gang.
yeah,
One of the greatest hip hop groups, one of the greatest music groups of all time, man. So definitely, I'm glad they got their flowers.
yeah,
And yeah, shout out to a Tribe Called Quest, man. We'll touch on that tomorrow, man. But let's go into the 38 Spesh and Benny the Butcher album,
okay.
Stab Shot 2. What were
Stabbed
your
and shot.
thoughts on that project?
So stabbed and shot too. As anybody that's been listening to me for a while, you know I'm a Benny the Butcher guy. I follow Benny the Butcher. I enjoy his music. Um, I heard this project. I'm not gonna lie. I think the project is cool. You know what I'm saying? I think as far as artistic integrity, how I started out talking about Ka, I think Benny, in that regard, this is a very authentic artist who holds a lot of artistic integrity. So I take nothing off his resume as far as that is concerned. Um, what I am saying is earlier this year when he dropped Everybody Can't Go, I was saying that maybe Ka should go in a different direction musically. What I heard from most of the people here and other places was no, we need Benny to stay where he's at to deliver that. And I guess that is the level of artistic integrity you enjoy. I've also spoke about the party needing to die. Y'all said, I mean, they're different with things we could go. So Benny delivered that again. Just like he's delivered with the Tana Talks, he delivered that again. He brought a friend. He brought 38 Spesh. From what I gather in this space, that y'all appreciate 38 Spesh and what he does. So what I'm asking, because I don't know. A lot of times I say what I know. You know what I mean? And people got a problem with that. I don't know everything. This is so I'm asking, what is the next level for Benny the Butcher? Right? If he's giving you these projects that everybody in this space seems to enjoy, right? You don't have any real critiques about these projects that I hear. You know what I mean? So what is the next level? I say the album was cool because what else would you like me to say? I can go by a track by track. I could give you the lyrics. He they have fire production on there. He had the first line. He said it's hard to trust a crook when you get to know the business. And that's a real thing. You know what I mean? It's hard to trust a crook when you get to know the business because on an authentic level, that comes with the game. The weekend rhyme, he said, change I made from hustling, don't take away the pain and suffering. We treat goals like snipers do targets. We aim above it. That's a bar as well. Anybody who has done their fair amount of shooting, or I'm talking about just accuracy shooting. You know that long range distance shooting, it takes a particular amount of skill, especially in conditions, windy conditions, or conditions that are not perfect for that type of shooting. So the reason why I say that is aiming for a higher level. It takes a lot, you know what I mean? And I want to know if are people happy with where Benny is at, and if they just want this type of music to continue, or is it time for Benny to go to a higher level? You know what I'm saying? And
Well,
how would
I think to answer your question, I think Benny has reached a plateau, right? I think if
you,
you listen to most of his projects, they're consistent. They're a consistent level. I
right,
wouldn't say they show growth. I don't know if they show a decline, but they're just pretty much stagnant, right? I don't know where else he can go. I mean, he's typically. I mean, I think he's talented, but
right,
I think he might have peaked at where he's at. I don't know what else can he contribute. I think he tried to attempt to do some different type of records before to appeal to the ladies. Those
right,
records didn't really resonate like that. But I mean, it's starting to be the same. I'm they're starting to bleed one into another. I can't differentiate when one Benny project starts when the other one ends. Right? It's all starting to sound the same to me. Right?
right.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know where he can go, and I think this is a struggle for most artists that are locked in the street genre. Right? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? What can you do? I mean, I think you could probably reach out to different producers to kind of maybe enhance your sound a little bit. Maybe that'll be different. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't know. I don't know where you go from
Okay.
here. I just think he's kind of locked into his box. Um,
Okay.
I, Based upon what I've heard from the last few projects, it doesn't seem to be an evolution of music.
No, I get you, and I kind of got that from some of the fans last night. But like a label, I want, according to hip hop, to kind of be like a think tank for the artist, right? So we could say this is the level, right? But let's pretend that let's pretend we have to think of something at a higher level, right? So we're familiar with Pusha T, we're familiar with Ghost and Ray. We're familiar with Jay Z. We're familiar with T.I. So we've seen this story of a hustler go to a higher level. We've seen it happen with other artists, so we know it's possible. In that regard, it's just how would we go about doing that? I think Benny is very capable as far as pen game goes. I think lyrically, I think he's very capable. It's just that, if this is where people are happy and they just want the music to stay here, I don't have an issue with that. Like I said, this project is cool. It's not whack. It's not crazy dope. And I know Benny has an issue with people like myself speaking on his music, a critic per se. But I'm just speaking as a whole. We want to see our artists level up, then go a level higher, and we've seen examples of that in the past. Just to break about the album, like I said, I think it was cool. He had a lot of the production. It sounds like previous special production. Lyrically, you're getting the best out of them. Artistic integrity wise, I could say, it they haven't dropped there. But like I also pointed out, with Big Meech came home this week, and I seen some chattering about, well, why should we be glorifying this, that, and the third? Well, I don't think the story of a hustler is all one thing. I don't think it's all bad or it's all good. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle. So when I saw Meech was coming home, I said welcome home, not because I'm fanning out over Big Meech, but because I think when you do years in prison, I think that's rough. You know what I mean? I think that, so I think when people come home, just like, hey, bro, welcome home. I know that's a rough reality, and that doesn't excuse anything, but there are two sides, is what I'm saying. There is the story of the ruthless hustler. There's also the story of redemption in that for a lot of hustlers. There also is, like Benny said on the album, I put the work in the blender when my kid was potty training. Those are two different worlds that has to exist. You know what I mean? So how do we, as artists, to reach a next level? We have to articulate that. We have to articulate that balance, because
Right.
people don't see that balance. They think hustling is all one lifestyle of one thing. They don't know that hustling is a myriad of experiences all combined into one life. You know what I mean?
Right, right. So I think there's a lot of different things to unpack here, right? Let me take you to the first question, right? What would we do as a label with Benny the Butcher? I think, again, I think his music has kind of plateaued. The last few projects, I don't know what they kind of run together. I
Right.
would probably go back and probably revisit him working with Benny with West Side Gun and Conway the Machine. Go back to Griselda, because I think West Side Gun, even though his last couple projects after 10 weren't that dope, but I think West Side has the ability to kind of curate a good sound palette where some of these street tales sound better over that
Right.
type of production, right? So I would want to see another Griselda project with Conway, with West Side and Benny. I think that would be
That's
the best
that's on
way to
the
go.
way.
And I
Yeah.
think they're stronger together than they are apart, actually. I think West Side kind of stands apart. Conway has some dope stuff, but I think together collectively, I think they should run that, right? So um
And that's coming, by according to them. That group album, the next group album is coming. So you know what I mean?
okay. And the second piece, as far as Meech, again, it's always been, the street culture and music, hip hop music have always been connected in a way, right? They've always been at the crossroads of, how do they say it? How do those people say it on TV? The connectivity, or the I forgot what they say, how they say it. They're at the melting point of streets and hip hop music. So
Right.
I understand why people were saying welcome home and all that. I didn't partake in it because, one, I don't know the guy, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, it's quite to be odd for me to welcome someone home that I don't know. And number two, we just don't know. But he has been in part of hip hop for a very long time, for decades. He had Rick Ross making a record. 50 got the television show. Jeezy always shouting him out in his records. You know what I'm saying? I remember on the Hustlin' remix, right? He was
Right.
like, I know Big Meech, the real Big Meech, is over for y'all when he hit the streets. You know what I'm saying? So his name has always been used in hip hop records.
Right.
And some people got flack. I think LeBron James got some criticism about saying welcome home. Some others did as well. But we'll see. We'll
I'll
see.
just say that I'll just say this about that crossing of Big Meech and the crossing of hip hop in the streets. A lot of people that did know Big Meech, they didn't know him through the streets. They knew him through meeting him in the crossing of music. So in their mind, they're not thinking of Meech of how the people that don't know him are thinking. They're thinking strictly street. A lot of people are thinking about the music because they met him within the crossing of music. I just gotta point that out. You know what I mean?
Right. So
So
yeah. So again, that's part of like the convergence of streets and hip hop music. Like Rick
right,
Ross and the real Freeway Rick Ross was always referenced. You know what I'm saying? You had Jay-Z doing American Gangster about those Harlem era gangsters as well. So it's always going to be that element, man. So, but
yeah,
yeah, we'll kind of unpack more of that
you
as
cut
as
out
the
a little bit,
days.
but somebody did mention I love Nas hustle, so poets and rhymes. But when I get to Snoop or even T.I, but branding, and this is the secret weapon that I do think hustlers have. I think when it comes to branding, you're coming from one life into another life, but you bring a particular set of skills and branding something that the masses can grab hold of while you're also in competition with others. And um, I think that skill has served well for Jay-Z, for Snoop Dogg, for T.I, for different for Rick Ross. So I think that is the next level for that. So I would like to see Benny, you as far as tell convincing the people that you are authentic. I think Benny has done that. I think we know that Benny is authentically a street guy. You know what I mean? So I don't think you have to continuously harp on that. Now, granted, there's nothing wrong with that. We've seen Pusha T, right? So we've seen a person keep going with that. But even Pusha T, he's added elements that are at another level. Like it's almost dry. That's an art reference. You know what I mean? So at some point, there's a crossing of hustler rap that becomes art. So I would just like to see Benny kind of cross some worlds with that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
and I think Benny to a lesser degree is a Pusha T type artist, right?
Yeah.
Because at some point, and I think I saw this when the last Pusha T project came out, I started seeing the chat. It was like, man, how long is this man gonna keep talking about dope? Like how long can you rap about the same thing? How many different ways can you cut the pie, right? Can you
Right.
slice this pie? It becomes a point where you just sound stuck. And part of me, guys, I got a little bit under the weather, but yeah, and you're just stuck.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're cutting out a little bit. You know what I mean? I hear you though. I don't know if I would say he's stuck, even though I understand that though. I understand exactly what you're saying. But I think the people they want that. They want what Benny is giving them, especially if you got 38 Spesh with you. I'm assuming he's giving people what they want. This is what y'all want, right? Y'all want this tale of the street, so it's supply and demand. He's giving y'all. Now I would like to see an elevation, but if that's not what the people want, then I can't fault Benny for reverting back to what he knows best. You know what I mean?
Right. And then I guess it comes to a question like as an artist, how do you push yourself? Or do you even want to push yourself, right?
Right.
Maybe your lane is just your lane. And maybe that's what it is, right? So
Okay.
it is what it is, man. But let's get into something else.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about T.I. and Lil Wayne. Let's break it down, right?
Okay.
We had a conversation about, T.I. is going to retire. I think at Jingle Ball will be his last show.
Right.
And let's do a retrospective and who had the better career. Leroy, go first, and I'll give you my thoughts afterwards. Right?
You want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah, and we're only
No, it's
talking
okay.
about we're talking about the discographies, right? So I got some notes. So I got some notes. Let me pull my
Okay.
notes up. Okay, so Lil Wayne. I'm not talking about the mixtapes. Lil Wayne had 13 studio albums, solo, just solo. We're not talking about Hot Boys. We're not talking about his work with, like Father Like Son with Birdman. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about Collie Grove 2 with
Okay.
2 Chainz.
You can if you want to.
We can, and we can talk about it in its totality. We can do that. But 13 studio albums, right? T.I has 11 studio albums, right? Key ones that that stand out for Wayne, the Carter series, we all know that. And then for T.I, Trap Music, King, Urban Legend,
Yep.
Paper Trail, T.I versus T.I.P. And shout out to my boy Bay. He really like Libra scale as well. But
Okay.
let's talk about the discographies. Who had the better discography? Because they say T.I is the king of the South. He calls himself the king of the South. We refer to him down here as the king of the South. But is he truly the king of the South, or did Lil Wayne have better albums? You go first, Leroy.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, again, I'm just giving my opinion, and then I lay out some foundation for it. And if y'all disagree, that's perfectly all right. But I think T.I is the best that we've seen come out the South, so I would call him the king of the South. Pound for pound, I think T.I is the best rapper that we've seen come out the South. Now let me lay some foundation for that claim, right? So I'm gonna of course say trap music. We talked about artistic integrity at the top of the show. So artistic integrity is my standard for this show. So I'm gonna talk about trap music, Urban Legend, King, T.I versus T.I.P, which I think is a great concept, because a lot of the battles in life, you're battling yourself. You ain't battling nobody else. T.I versus T.I.P, Paper Trail, and Trouble Man. So that's 6 albums that I consider to be great. And I'm holding one more that I consider to be his best so I'm gonna hold that. Now, Grant, I'm gonna name an album that no one ever names as anything. They forget he even made this album. So I'm gonna name an album that I believe is his best that people forgot he even made. But those 6 albums, Trap Music, Urban Legend, King, T.I versus T.I.P, Paper Trail, and Trouble Man, are that's a tall order if an artist is gonna get around those 6 albums. So if Wayne can, I'm not saying he can't. I don't know, because maybe people here and you can present a better argument. Because Wayne is a great artist as well. So, but that's why those albums are why I say T.I is the best pound for pound artist that we've seen come out of the South. Now, when we talk about hustling, T.I is from that world. So just explaining that world in a way where it is multifaceted, right? So it's not just I hustle and that's it. It's I hustle and I'm also dealing with all these other aspects of life. So then it becomes multifaceted. I believe that T.I has articulated that more so greater than Wayne or whoever else from the South. So, you know what I mean? That's my argument.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of agree with you in a little bit, right? I think that T.I. We get the super chat real quick. Lord Vachai says y'all be hating on Trouble Man. No, we don't hate on Trouble Man.
I named it as one of the albums.
Man is you talking about the album or you talking about T.I?
Yeah, the album.
No, Trouble Man got some joints.
Yeah, Trouble Man got joints.
Yeah, no, we not hating on Trouble Man. So OJ Weston said something profound in the chat. I think you can make an argument that T.I makes better albums. But as far as the songs go, the bigger moments in hip hop, you would have to give that to Lil Wayne. Even if you talk about the mixtape game, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Dedication. I think you got to give the nod to Lil Wayne as far as that feature game. You got to give the nod to Lil Wayne. But we're only talking about the discography. I'm not trying to take us out to another argument. Talking about just pound for pound, right, who had the better discography. I would have to agree. I would have to say Wayne. But let's take a look though, because Wayne's first solo album came out in 1999. The Block is Hot.
Yep.
People that were outside during that time, we really didn't start giving Wayne kind of like, buzzing about Wayne to 500 Degrees, to be quite honest. Like 500 Degrees was the first Lil Wayne album that folks was like, okay. He starts making that transition from just being a Hot Boy member on Cash Money,
yeah,
to being I remember the shift in people's minds saying, okay, Lil Wayne is nice when 500 Degrees drop, right? And then the Carter, and when the Carter dropped, and then the Carter 2 specifically, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That took him to another level. And then Carter 3 is lights out. Now, after Carter 3, you got Rebirth, you got the Carter 4, I'm Not a Human Being, the Carter 5, Funeral. So you got a lot of iffy things after the Carter 3, but I do like the Carter 4. It did have 6'7". I think that did it have How to Love on it?
I don't know, but for me, I've heard all those albums. I'm gonna stand up for Carter 2 and 3. So I'm naming 2, and maybe the album with the butterfly on the front in red. Maybe those 3. You know what I mean? So, or I'm not a human. I think it was.
Yeah, no. How to Love was another. How to Love was on another album. Yeah, She Will was on.
3, right?
On the
3.
Carter. Nah, Carter 4.
Okay.
Carter 4. She Will was on the Carter 4 with Drake, 6'7".
Okay.
So yeah, so Wayne's albums post Carter 4, post Carter 3 haven't been stellar, and I have to give the nod.
Now
when you look at the cohesive body of work, trap music, especially trap music, right? Trap music.
Still Here named the album that I was gonna name as T.I.'s best. So T.I, not to cut you, I'm gonna let you go, but T.I.'s Us or Else, the letter to the system. That's T.I. That's T.I.'s elevation from the streets, and that's his best. That's his best work to me. Now, so go ahead, Wayne. But Still Here is somebody that annoys the shit out of me. He named the album that I was gonna save. So that's 7 from T.I. You know, but go ahead though. Now, for Wayne,
man, whoever thought that T.I would bring you guys together, man. Oh wow, has hell frozen over. That Leroy and Still Here have a common thought. I don't know. This is a very rare occasion. I don't know if we should celebrate, blow the horn. I don't know. I mean, am I still alive? I don't know. Am I in heaven?
Yeah, you know, am I? I don't know. Yeah. But you know, I like King. I like trap music, of course. But when I heard Us or Else, that came at a very contentious time, a very tension-filled time. T.I. delivered a thought through an album that was elevated beyond him speaking just for the hustlers. He started to speak for the people. Now that's a different type of elevation. And that I feel is his strongest work. You know what I mean? So that's the elevation. And I know Benny got it in him. But I'm gonna let you continue with Wayne, you know what I'm saying, and see if Wayne got 7 or 6 or 5 that could rock with that. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, if you want to throw in if you want to include his discography, so the solo discography, you know,
yeah,
I think T.I has the nod there, right? But if you throw in College Grove 1 and College Grove 2 with 2 Chainz, that's some of even last year, a lot of folks don't know. Lil Wayne's bar work on that joint is crazy.
No doubt.
I mean, that song he did. What was that song he did? It was a single.
I mean, we know Lil Wayne got bars. I mean, I could go to Glory. I could go to America. I could go to Georgia Bush, or I feel like I'm dying. Dr. Carter, Mr. Carter. We know. At least I know Wayne got bars.
Right. Like check out Welcome to College Grove, right? You got Shame, you got Bars produced by Havoc, and you got Long Story Short. Even Pressure. I mean, he rapping crazy on these records, man. And if you look at the Dedication mixtape, he had a song, I think he had an artist that he was putting out years ago, Euro. And they did Cream. Have you ever heard Wayne rap over the Cream beat? Not the Wyclef remix, because they jacked it on there, but he took Cream, he redid it. Let me see if I can pull those lyrics. Man, hold on. It's just crazy. Then you think about the Cannon song on the Cannon record, right? He got joints, man. I think from a pound for pound MC perspective, from the pen game, I think Wayne might have them, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
It's just
I mean, there are some great artists that that wordplay wise, they are wordplay masters. But when you can turn that wordplay into a message, that's harder to do. That's harder
hold
to
on.
do. And I know Wayne can do it, but I don't think he has articulated that better than T.I. T.I is saying I'm not just a hustler, but this is my story on top of being a hustler. And I think he's articulated that well. You know what I mean? So, but again, no shots at Wayne. We know about Wayne. You know what I'm saying? But I think overall, I think T.I probably has the stronger discography. And again, I'm not just saying against Wayne. I'm saying T.I against whoever from the South. Now Rick Ross is also outside too. And musically, that's a very high mountain to climb. But again, I'm saying whoever from the South, pound for pound, I'm saying T.I is the king. Now I know people bring up Scarface. Scarface didn't want to be king. We'll keep that in mind. Scarface says he don't want no crowns. He don't want to be no king. He don't want to be the top of nothing. So this is his word. So
Right. I mean, his bar where he got something like this Cream record, right? He said, "Ninjas ain't safe all 9 innings, and to you it's just change. I want every J.C. Penney." Then he says, "Going at your neck, get the rope, tie a noose. This is a gun check. Who do I write it to?" He says, "I'm dirty like ENT. Shout out to Murphy Lee. Got to cut up the credit cards, plastic surgery. I'm a god, mercy me. I'm higher than Mercury. Smoking on that strong full of Hercules. Bartender, hurry up. Hurry up with my drink. Ninjas pulling cables like they come with a string. I'm standing over the stove with my gun on the sink because I know what they thinking. I know how ninjas thinking, but I don't know what ninjas thinking, but I know how they think.
I
I mean,
know
he's
how they think.
breaking stuff down. Like, I mean, his wordplay is just it's
Again,
crazy, man. It's
I
crazy.
can't take no. I
Yeah, we
can't
are
take.
talking about the discography. I kind of got off on a tangent on this. We are talking about the discography,
Right.
the albums, the studio albums, and we give the nod to Ti.
I can't take no wordplay
We
away
give the
from
nod to
Wayne.
Ti.
So if you're telling me Wayne got wordplay, I'm not gonna be the one to take that away from him. I know he got wordplay.
All right, so Ti held it down. I mean, we can go and get other artists and see how the discography stack up against Tip. But when it comes to Wayne and Tip, the question was who had a better discography, and
Yeah.
I give the nod to Tip. So there it is.
I agree with you. I'm just having the conversation. There's no right or wrong. Now Scarface was mentioned in the comments. Name those albums. I named 6, 7 really from Ti, but 6 or 7. Name 6 or 7 from Scarface. Now I know he got them, but I need the people to name them and name the songs that you know. Don't just name songs because you know the title. Name the songs that you know from Scarface and the albums that you know. Give me 7 that are greater than trap music, Urban Legend, King, T.I, you know what I mean? Verse TIP, Paper Trail, Trouble Man, Us or Else. Give me the ones that y'all know. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Let's look it up. Since y'all took it there,
Because
let's
I know him as well. I know his albums well. So
so let's deconstruct it, right? So Scarface has 12 albums, I think, in his discography.
yes.
Then he has 12. All right, what would you say Ti's best album is? What's his best album?
Well, for most people here, they're probably gonna go trap music or King. I'm gonna go Us or Else. But again, overall, you're dealing with about 6 or 7 projects from Ti that we all can agree are pretty great. Now I know from Scarface the Diary is in there. You ain't got to tell me that's in there. I know it's in there. You ain't got to tell me Untouchables in there. I know it's in there. You ain't got to tell me The Fix is in there. I know it's in there. You ain't
Last of a Dying Breed.
okay. You ain't got to tell me. But when you got to come up with 7 of those, though, you see what I'm saying? Or 6 of those, that's when it gets interesting. That's when it gets interesting because when you come up with 3 or 4, you know what I mean. I can throw in some more, just deeply rooted. I could throw in some more, right? But Made, yeah. Now y'all gonna throw Made in a comparison with an album like Trap Music? I'm just asking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Seriously?
let's
It's
compare.
Biggie.
Let's just look at. Let's go one for one. Let's go one for one, right? So the first album that Scarface put out was Mr. Scarface is Back,
Mr.
right?
Scarface is back. And respect to Scarface. We all love Scarface, so this is no disrespect at all.
All right. So if you can compare, which one's better? I'm Serious or Mr. Scarface is Back?
Um, I'll give him that. I'll give him. I don't think T.I was fully T.I when he was 20 years old. So I'll give Mr. Scarface that. And Scarface was young himself. So yeah, man.
All right. So let's go to The World Is Yours versus what's the
Trap music.
second? Trap Music. Yeah.
You know we gotta go trap music. I mean, let's just keep it a buck. We gotta go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Trap Music. So the Diary versus Urban Legend. I'm gonna go Diary.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one because we want to go Diary, but Urban Legend ain't no joke, man. Urban Legend ain't no joke. Pound for pound, you know what I mean?
Urban Legend is an interesting album because that's the album that takes him, that kind of crosses him over, right? You got You Don't Know Me on that joint. You got ASAP.
ASAP.
You got Bring 'Em Out. Yeah, you got Freak Though. You got some records on. You got some records on that joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You got Motivation. And that might be his crossover album, right? That's the one he's going to New York.
but it was.
Folks is getting played, from coast to coast. I don't know. This is tough.
It's tough. That's what I'm saying. Like it's no right or wrong because I could be wrong. You could be. There's no right or wrong really. It's two elite artists that we're going album for album, song for song. That could be anybody between the two.
The
You know what I'm saying?
next Scarface album was The Untouchable, dropped in 1997, and then you got King.
I love Untouchable. That's my favorite Scarface album. But when I put it up against King, T.I is rapping at a level, and we know Scarface can rap. We're not gonna knock Scarface rapping, but T.I is rapping at a level that's pretty crazy. He's switching flows, he's switching approaches, he's doing a lot. The wordplay is there. He's doing a lot, bro. He's doing a lot. The style of it, the single.
I don't know.
What was the single for King? What you know about
What you
that?
know?
What you know of you never blow me, we pull up to the club. All that styling he's doing, that's another level, man.
King had What You Know was on that joint. Why You Want to Go and Do That was on there. Why You Want to Go and Do That, Love, huh? Yeah, Top Back on that joint.
Top back.
Yeah, Front Back with UGK, produced by Manny Fresh, legendary Manny Fresh. So they had a lot of joints, man.
I don't know. I'm gonna
I don't
call
know,
it a
man.
tie. I like.
Robert Chop, the Super Chat says, it's not the Diary. Knock it off. Shout out to Lord Vachai, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's tough. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong either way. I think.
I will say this about Scarface is foundational, meaning T.I was able to build off what Scarface had kind of already established with the South. So he's foundational, and I will never take that away from him. But T.I brings a lot to the table as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. We might have to do a proper show where we break down the track listing of both Scarface and we do T.I. But again, a minute to pray, a second to die.
Yeah.
I don't
Now
know.
Scarface's strong records are very strong. I know. You know what I'm saying? I know.
Right, he's got classic records like stuff that you're gonna remember. You don't remember Tip stuff too, but I mean,
Yeah.
Seen a Man Die, you know what I'm saying? Hand of a Dead Body, A Minute to Pray, a Second to Die was one of my a lot of folks don't know. Mind Playing Tricks Part 2 was crazy.
Yeah, but people are talking about all time ranking. I'm not talking about all time ranking. I'm talking about one man's discography against another man's. That's it. And again, there are no wrong answers here because some people are gonna be like, I done picked my side. There's no convincing, so there's no wrong answer.
Because you guys
I ain't
start,
talking about all time.
we gotta start stacking them up because like if we want to rank discographies, and that's probably another show. Pardon me, I'm a little bit under the weather. Weather's changing. Who has the best discography of all time?
Yeah,
It's arguably Scarface has a top 20, a top 15 discography.
I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, I don't think T.I is rated properly. When people start saying T.I is top 30 or isn't even top 30, I don't think that's a proper rating.
You talking about discography? Or you talking about as an MC?
I mean, if we talk about it as an MC, how many rappers walking around with more skills than T.I? Now, if we're talking about discography, I think his discography is quite impressive. Song for song, this man is able to find the balance between mainstream and what we would consider hardcore street rap. He finds that balance in between both of those worlds musically flawlessly. Now, if we are going to deny that fact, I don't know what to tell you because Scarface, when he starts kicking that street stuff, it is we know what he could do. But can Scarface translate that into the mainstream records? I mean, that's the cross, right?
Yeah, but that was I don't think that was ever Scarface's theme. He was
And
never.
it don't have to be.
Yeah,
It wasn't Cos thing,
he was
so it don't have
he
to
was
be.
a cinematic, artistic, poetic rapper, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you can't
Yeah,
really vibe out to, you know what I'm saying? And it
you,
only takes a
yeah,
minute to
yeah,
pray,
you
but a
you
second to
can,
die.
but
You know what I'm
I know
saying? You
what you
can't
mean,
really vibe out.
right? But
I
I'm
mean,
I'm saying
I was with a.
yeah, with Ti though, that's the mountain that has to be looked at, that has to be climbed because Ti is taking those street elements and crossing them into a mainstream sound. That's very difficult for an artist to do. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. You know what I mean? It's more difficult to do that than to say, okay, I'm a hardcore rapper. Give me a hardcore beat, and I'll just put the two together because the two already go together anyway.
Right. Well,
Man,
one of the big records that Scarface had was one with Pac, Smile. That was a big mainstream record. You know what I'm saying?
for sure, for sure.
Never seen a man cry till I seen a man die. That was it was morbid, but it was a mainstream record. You know what I'm saying? He has some
Yeah,
mainstream joints. Again, these are not, you ride in your whip and just
right.
party records, but these are mainstream records that will be forever woven in the lexicon of hip hop. So Scarface, I mean, it's a tough thing, but it's an honor that T.I came in the game and he can stand on his own with a legend like with Face. I think T.I is a legend in his own right. So two different eras, two different styles, two different deliveries.
Right.
But T.I he could snap into that.
And Ti never
He could
dissed
step into that
Scarface.
introspective lane. I think he had a
Yeah, Ti
no,
never
no. He
dissed
always showed him
Scarface.
proper respect.
He showed Scarface respect. He told Scarface, look, I'm coming for the crown of this shit. So I'm bringing it to you. Like I'm asking you what you think about that because I'm coming for the crown.
Right.
Scarface told him, I'm not interested in no crown anyway. So it's not like Ti was disrespecting or even Scarface was even looking at him as a competitor. These were two different guys, and Ti respected what Scarface did. You know what I mean? As he should. You
No
know.
doubt. No doubt. Lord Child with the super chat says we did care about mainstream in our era. That's the problem with hip hop now. We didn't. I guess we didn't care.
We didn't care. It sounds good, but again, I'm from those foundational eras, and I can tell you, we cared about the songs that made it to radio, the songs that we all partied to, the songs that we all vibed to. We cared. It's kind of that's false to say we didn't care about that. You know what I mean? Because at some point you got to have a party. You're going to have a party at some point in your life. It's just a fact. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, that's another show, man. That's another show. Again,
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that we can have this conversation about T.I and Scarface,
Hmm.
where we can say, they both got their own respective,
No doubt.
viewpoints as MCs, as artists in this game, but they can hold their own, right? And then again, I think Scarface stands in his own lane because his voice was very cinematic. And he called him the Alfred Hitchcock of hip hop, right? Because it was so, vivid. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Absolutely.
again, I remember listening to A Minute to Pray, a Second to Die like over and over again back in the day. And
Absolutely.
this girl I was with at the time, she was like, "Are you crazy? Why you listen to this record like that?" I was like, "Nah, it's just something about it." I mean, I was
Right.
picturing everything he was saying. You know what I'm saying? And it was like it was like a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
It was like a movie. You know what I'm saying? One to the middle
All
of
right.
the head, he's expired. You know what I'm saying? See,
Yeah.
why you shoot his moms and shit? F that. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
just
No.
crazy. It was just like and then mind playing tricks on me. They'll cue that record up on Halloween. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Now, Scarface's writing, his music is definitely like a movie, like for sure. Like he writes is like he's directing a film or something. So I'll give him that all day. But as far as the people with those voices that we grew up on, sidebar, Ice Cube got a new record that I'm not really feeling. And it kind of hurts me to say that because Ice Cube is one of them ones to me. But when an artist, again, a lot of time I think an artist is up against their own legacy. An artist versus themselves. So I think that's a hard fight. You know what I mean?
What was the name of the Ice Cube album?
The new song is called My Ego, and I get it, but I just wasn't into that. Now, again, Ice Cube is two different kind of people, right? Because we got Ice Cube from NWA Ice Cube, then we got Ice Cube from the barbershop. So these are two different Ice Cubes. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we I want to hear the Ice Cube that I grew up on. Now, granted, he's able to do what he wants. He ain't got to listen to me, but the Ice Cube I grew up on was quite a different type of MC, a way different type of MC. He was a
Right.
prop. Yeah, man.
Little known history fact. One could argue that Kanye West gave T.I and Scarface. Well, it gave not the best, but one of their better records, right? You know, Guess Who's Back with Scarface, and then Doing My Job with T.I.
Yep.
One of T.I.'s best records, right? You know what I'm saying? I felt T.I on that record, right? He was like, "We got kids, we want to live nice too. We hustling to pay the the gas rent due." He said,
Right.
what he was saying is it's kind of hell. It's hell in high school where you got to pay. You know what I'm saying? He's helping his people pay the bill. You know what I'm saying? Pay the bills. I
Right.
forgot the lyric, but I felt that record, right? You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like he's
It was
just
very.
explaining
Yeah.
the
It was very
he
realistic.
explained the pain.
He explained both. A lot of times, and people, one guy commented on my background, but we were talking about Benny and 38 Spesh. It has to do with hustling. So a lot of times we get the movie aspect of everything's great or a hustler. Like we think of a hustler, everything's great. That's not really the reality of actually hustling. So someone who can articulate both, which Ti, I think he did. I think there was always a balance there. He never tried to sell you on, well, if you hustle, everything's gonna go great for you. That was never. You're just gonna see money, cars, and jewelry. That was never his. He always gave you both sides. Because 99% of y'all thinking you gonna, push a line in the street. You, I don't know if that's gonna happen for you. Just honestly. You know what I'm saying?
We need to do an unpacking. And I hate to do this. We did this with Eminem. We did this with Common. We did this with Jay. We did this with Nas. I don't think we've done it with Ye yet. Kanye. We might need to do it with 50. We
Yeah.
need to unpack Ice Cube's discography and see where does it stand in the test of time. Because I'm trying to think. You know, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. I mean,
I'm
when the
from the
last?
West. I'm from
I
the
know you're
West.
from the West, but I think War and Peace
Yeah.
was the last true Ice Cube banger. And I need to go back and listen to War and Peace. I think War and Peace had
That's
pushing
fire.
rhymes like wait, pushing rhymes. I got lyrics
Yeah,
the
but
way.
it had 3 strikes on there. 3 strikes. Where in 3 strikes he's playing a baseball player. But you know the under meaning of 3 strikes, and you from California, so he's not just rapping about baseball. You know what I'm saying? And this is the kind of mind that you're dealing with when you talk about Ice Cube. He got Frankenstein on that album. Frankenstein, he's talking about creating a monster. What so when you think about what he did in hip hop, when gangster rap is a Ice Cube creation. Now I know there was reality rap before that, but when we talk about gangster rap, pushing a gangster line, that is a Ice Cube creation. Frankenstein is on that album. Extradition is on that album. The title song is on that album, but there's other stuff. I mean, he got a lot of stuff on there. Limos and bimbos, you know what I mean? But greed is on there. But the type of when Ice Cube is talking about a topic, he's really talking about 3 topics at once. So when he's talking about alive on arrival, waiting in the hospital room while he's suffering after being shot, he's talking about the underpaid worker behind the desk who's barely paying him no attention while he got to fill out his paperwork to get assistance for his bullet wound. And while he's waiting in line for just assistance, he passes away and dies. There are multiple layers to that type of song. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean, you got America's Most Wanted,
yeah,
Death Certificate, The Predator, Lethal Injection, and then you got War and Peace after that. I think you got War and Peace after that. Let me pull it up. I think
raw
you got
footage. Got raw footage after that too. I mean, as far as just keeping it just the rawest street element, like what Kai represented. Ice Cube is one of them ones, and me being from the West Coast, you I'm biased. So when you bring up Ice Cube or Snoop, I'm immediately gonna say they two of the best ever. You know what I mean? Because I'm from the West. What you want me to say? Now, when people if people say it was fake, what is real and what is fake? Because if we're hearing gangster rap, but it's all about a good time, is that real? You know what I mean? Because Cube was not affiliated, does that make him fake if you're not affiliated? So we got different, we got different qualifications for real and fake. You know,
right. He starts off strong though. I mean, you got to say America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, The Predator, and what was the other one?
that though his start off is probably the strongest start off in rap period, and that's no disrespect to Illmatic, but when you start off with America's Most Wanted, um, Death Certificate,
Lethal
Kill at
Injection.
Will, Lethal Injection, Predator, when you start off with them type of albums that shook America up, them was different type of albums. And granted, like I said before, we're used to gangster rap now. We wasn't used to gangster rap back then. So somebody talking about F the police, we're holding the AK and on there while they're on camera, having the Nation of Islam behind them and stuff like that. We was not used to that. We was not used to that.
When we do this comparative, and we're gonna get into Snoop, we're gonna get into Snoop real quick.
Yeah.
Um, it could be argued if we're gonna do the comparison just on the discography, right? We're not talking about anything else, just record for record. I think Snoop. I think Snoop has a better discography than Cube.
I can't argue with you. What you want me to argue? I mean, I would say that Cube
Yeah,
is a better lyricist, but I can't take nothing against Snoop either because people say Snoop is not a lyricist, but flow is lyricism. And when you talk about Snoop, you talk about possibly the greatest flow we've ever heard. Because again, and when this album from Snoop and Dre comes out, I want people to pay attention to that as far as like when you get a beat, right? Because I want this to be like a think tank here. When you get a beat, how you rhyme to the beat matters. That's also counted as lyricism, y'all. And when we talk about Snoop Dogg, we may be talking about the greatest flow that we've ever heard, pound for pound. Now, when a Nas album drops, I'm gonna gravitate to Nas and Primo, of course, because that is the aesthetic that appeals to me. But if I'm going to be objective with a broader viewpoint, Snoop and Dr. Dre is a different animal of sound. That's a different animal of sound, y'all. And Snoop said he wants his album to reset the game, and with him, I believe it's possible. I believe Snoop is that good. I believe he's so good that if he drops a project, it could reset the sound of hip hop. I believe he's that good.
Not to be an ageist, right?
Yeah,
And not to be an ageist, because I think adult contemporary hip hop OGs, legends in the game have their space. They created the space. They got their space. But don't you think it's quite sad
mm.
that damn near 60-year-old men got to reset the game? Shouldn't somebody else that's a little bit younger from Compton accomplish that? That's got maybe a Super Bowl performance coming up. Shouldn't they have that responsibility to reset the? I'm asking.
I got no issue with that.
I'm asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. That's what I'm saying. Shouldn't this person that's supposed to be top three, big three, and the big three or big two, big me? Shouldn't they have that responsibility to reset the game? I'm just asking for a friend. Maybe I
got no issue with that. If there is a young person out there that is capable of doing that, then I'm here for that. I support that. I'm here for that. I champion you to do that, whoever you are out there. But with Snoop and Dre, there's a lot of experience musically. They have a lot of experience, and that goes into their music. You know what I mean? And that's a tall mountain. You know that I mean, experience is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Snoop ain't no joke, man. His discography, like you said, not only is it comparable to Ice Cube, but Snoop Dogg can compete with any discography in hip hop. So, I mean, you're dealing with a man with 20 something albums. These aren't whack songs, y'all. I implore y'all to go back to them albums that y'all didn't listen to from Snoop. These ain't whack songs. Snoop makes dope songs, y'all. So with Snoop and Dr. Dre, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Well, we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do a series, Leroy, called The Unpacking. We're gonna unpack all these discographies, and we're gonna go song by. I wish we could play the music. That's what I gotta call my guys on YouTube, man. They gotta get this restriction off this, man. We gotta play the music, man. We gotta play.
I hear people playing music on YouTube. First, they say, "What do they say? A fair use. Fair use." Didn't they play the music?
Well, now they demonetize you though. They go in there and they shut your channel down because people the copyright holder will strike it, and it may be a hater. It may be like another podcast hear us playing music, and they'll start complaining. You know what I'm saying? And then that's what they do, man. These haters, man.
Come on now, come on, keep it G.
We need the music. We need the music. I'm gonna go to New York. I gotta talk to the folks at YouTube, man. I got a line at the head of podcasting at YouTube, and I'm gonna try to get a meeting. See if they can give hip hop an exception. You know what I'm saying? Because I need the music. I need the music to talk.
Yeah, the people that y'all friends with over at YouTube, the guys that you like, you let them play music. They're your friends. So I'm saying I should be able to play music too. Come on now. You know what I'm saying?
But it's all good. But your boy Ron is not feeling well tonight. I gotta, we've been on for a little bit. I think we covered all our bases. Leroy, anything else you got on your mind tonight before we get out of here?
No, I'm gonna leave it there. Shout out to all the legends, whether it be Scarface, Snoop, Ka, whether it be Redman. Shout out to Redman because he's releasing freestyles now for Muddy Water 2. All the legends, Cube, I salute them all. Nas, I salute the new guys coming up. Benny, 38 Spesh, I salute their work. T.I, I would just say I would challenge everybody to put back on that Us or Else album, and let's see if that's the elevation that Benny is capable of making. I don't know. I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. And rest in peace, Cobb, man. Phenomenal.
Rest in peace. Well, make sure everybody hit the like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, the bell notification icon to let us know that you guys are tapped in with us, man. Get us to 100,000 subscribers. We appreciate you rocking with us. I'm about to drink me some tea, some juice.
Do that.
Eat me some chicken. Maybe that make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? That might make me feel worse, actually. And let's get back at it, man. But do your homework, man. Go back and listen to Scarface. Go back and listen to Tip. Listen to Pot. Listen to Snoop. And we out of here, man. And then hell has officially frozen over. Still here and Leroy exchanged nice words in the chat, and they actually agreed on something. This is really a remarkable day, man. I'm just, man, I'm at a loss for words, man. As miracles do come happen. That's the next thing I'm gonna send you the Christmas gifts. What is going on here, man? This is crazy.
Salute though, man. You know, get well soon, man. And we're gonna have to talk about these Wednesdays, man. We're gonna have to talk about these Wednesdays, but salute.
No doubt. We'll pull up.
Yep.
We'll pull up.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Peace, guys.
Peace.